Hello, this is Adal. Welcome to the video lecture series on the course of Design of Steel Structure. This is the unit number 6, that is beams as per our syllabus, and this is the lecture number 2 on the unit number 6. In the lecture number 1, we saw the basic introduction of the beams in the steel structure. Then what are the sections will be used as a beam. Then we saw the one of the design criteria of the beam, that is design of bending moment. So in this video we are going to cover the other two major design criteria, that is design of shear force and check of deflections. These are the other two major design criteria of the beam, and we are going to see the design procedure of laterally restrained beams and some problems related to the design criteria. So these topics we will cover in this video. Let's start our lecture with the heading shear stress and the shear strength. This topic comes under the design of shear force. So how we will find the shear stress? Shear stress symbol is tau. So the shear stress at any point on the cross section of the beam is given by V into capital A into y bar divided by I y. So this is the formula that is used to find out the shear stress at any point on the cross section. So V is the shear force at the section. So how we will find the shear force at the section? So for the condition of the beam, it is a simply supported beam or cantilever beam. We will have a different shear force formula to find out the shear force. I is the moment of inertia of the section, and AW is moment of area about the level where the shear stress is calculated. Where we are calculating the shear stress, that area, that is the moment of area we have to consider. Mostly we will consider this moment of area about the neutral axis of the section, and B is width of the section. Why we needed? While finding out the moment of inertia of the section, we need the B and the depth. So B is the width of the section of the point where shear stress is calculated. So why we are calculating the shear stress at the neutral axis of the section? Why? Because the maximum shear stress will occur at the neutral axis. So if your beam is like this, if it is your neutral axis, then at here only, at this point, there will be a maximum shear stress will occur. So tau will be maximum at the shear neutral axis. So we are calculating the shear stress at the neutral axis. So what is tau? Is the tau, that is the actual shear stress occurring at a point. So tau VA is calculated average shear stress. So calculated average shear stress is equal to V divided by H into TW, where V is the shear force, H is the overall depth of beam, and TW is thickness of the web. So tau VA calculated, that is calculated average shear stress. What is the permissible shear stress? So if you are considering the maximum shear stress, so maximum shear stress you are considering tau, then it should be the permissible maximum shear stress is 0.45 Fy. The tau maximum, it should be less than or equal to 0.45 Fy. Suppose if you are considering tau Va, then the permissible average shear stress is less than or equal to Fy, 0.40 Fy. So these are the two permissible shear stresses how we are considering. If you are considering maximum shear stress, tau Vm we have to use. If you are considering the average shear stress, then we have to use tau Va. So if suppose in the beam there is an effect of wind or seismic forces or acting on that beam, then we have to increase 33 into 1 by 3% of the permissible stresses. So this stresses will be increased. Tau Vm is increased by 33% of 0.45 Fy because of wind load or seismic load. Same for the average shear stress if you are considering the wind or the seismic forces. So this is the shear force. Next is check for deflection. So the maximum deflection, that is maximum deflection, it should not greater than L by 325. This L is the span of the member. The maximum deflection of member should not exceed 1 by 325 of the span. That is L by 325 in span. But in some cases it may exceed. In what cases it exceed means, say okay, if it is exceed means due to the higher deflection, that deflection does not affect the strength or crack the floor finishing. So suppose this is your beam. So this is your beam. Here you will have a floor finish over it, some floor finish over it. So due to the application of load, what will happen? This beam will get deflected, deformed. So it is deformed. So due to this deforming action, what will happen? This floor finish will also deform. So if it is a deform and if it affects the strength or crack of the floor finish, we have to redesign. So in that deformation also, it does not affect the strength or crack. Any crack appeared in the floor finish does not have any crack or does not affect the strength. Then in that particular case, your deflection may be exceeded. Okay, the permissible deflection for simple beam, that is a simple beam, that is simply supported beam, is span by 325. This is a simply supported beam, a simple beam. If it is a cantilever beam, then your maximum deflection is 2 times of simple beam, that is 2 into span of beam by 325. This is the permissible deflection, maximum deflection of a beam. You can take it out. Some of the following standard cases, the maximum deflection is given below. First one is, it is a simply supported beam. So this is the simply supported beam with UDL over the span. So this is the UDL, uniformly distributed load. UDL means uniformly distributed load over the full span. So this is the L. So what is the formula to find the deflection in this uniform in the simply supported beam having a UDL means delta deflection max is equal to 5 by 384 into WL power 4 by EI. So this is the formula. So if you are asking the question, you have to remember this formulas to carry out the problems. Second condition, if the same simply supported beam having a center point load. So here it is L by 2, here also it is L by 2, this overall length is L. Then the formula is 1 by 48 P L power cube by EI. P is the load acting on it. This one is W, this one is P. This is a central point load. So P L cube divided by EI. If it is a cantilever, so this is the cantilever, it is having this UDL over the length, W kilonewton per meter. So its formula is 1 by 8 W L power 4 EI. 1 by 8 W L power 4 divided by EI. So if it is the same cantilever carrying a point load at the free end, this end is the free end. So if it is carrying the point load here, means its deflection formula is 1 by 3 PL cube by EI. So these are the some of the beams according to their loading condition. We can find the deflections. So we have to check this sigma max value. It should not exceed L by 325 if it is simply supported beam, or it should not exceed 2 times of L by 325 it is in a cantilever beam. So this is the design criteria of a beam. Next we will see the a design of a laterally restrained beams. So what is a laterally restrained beams? A beam is said to be laterally restrained beams. When we call it as a laterally restrained beam means when its compression flange is supported laterally. So this is how it is supported. This is the compression flange. So this compression flange is supported by some RCC work or some other. So it is supported. So what will happen if we have the compression flange is supported laterally means it is not allowed to have a movement in the lateral directions. So it will be don't move in any lateral directions. So what will happen? It will stick firmly to the structure. So we will call it as a laterally restrained beams. Why? Because the tendency of the compression flange to buckle. Due to the loading acting on it, the compression flange will tendency to buckle under the axial compressive stress. So what we are doing by giving the lateral support to the compression member, we are restricting this buckling. So the tendency of the compression flange to buckle under compressive stress, it is prevented. We are preventing the buckling effect by providing the lateral support. So while doing this one, what will happen? The safe allowable bending stress in compression may be taken as the same as that for the tension. That is sigma BC is equal to sigma BT. This is why we are considering the sigma BC is equal to sigma BT. Now we see what is the design procedure used in the laterally restrained beams. So how we have to find the laterally restrained beams? The first step is we have to calculate the maximum bending moment and the maximum shear force in the beam. First we have to find the bending moment and the shear force. So once we find these values from the bending moment, the second step is we have to calculate the required section modulus. So required section modulus we have to find. So we know sigma BC and sigma BT. So what is the allowable? In this sigma BC, laterally restrained means sigma BC is equal to sigma BT. So their value is 0.66 Fy. This is the allowable bending stress in a beam for a laterally restrained beam. So after we are finding out the required section modulus, the section we have to find the beam section. We have to choose the beam section which satisfy the required value of Z. So what we find out? The Z required by using bending moment and the sigma BC or BT, we have to choose one beam section from the steel table. At the time of choosing it, that section modulus will be same, but its weight should be minimum. Section modulus should be same, but its weight should be minimum. That means your section modulus required, suppose it is 1000. Okay, we have two sections. It is having, first section is having z as 1010. Second one is having section 1009. Suppose these two are nearly same, we can take any two, but what we have to consider is the weight should be minimum. The first one will have weight as 420. If second one is having weight as 350, then we have to choose the second section. The weight should be minimum. This is the second step, third step. Then once we choose our section, then we will go for the check for shear. We have to check for the shear. For checking for the shear, here we will calculate the average shear stress. So average shear stress we will calculate sigma VA. We will calculate. This sigma VA should be less than or equal to the sigma average, VA average. It should be less than equal to the sigma VA average. Otherwise, if it is not less than, we have to select the section. Once it is clear, then we will go for the check for deflection. So check for deflection, we have to find the delta max, and we have to check it should be less than or equal to 1 by L by 325. If it is simply supported beam, it is L by 325. Otherwise, 2 times of L by 325 in case of cantilever. So we have to check for this. So this is the design procedures of the laterally restrained beams. Let's do a problem and we will understand the how to calculate the maximum bending stress and maximum shear stress. A cantilever steel beam of 3 meter span carries a uniformly distributed load of 20 kilonewton inclusive of self-weight. The beam comprises of LSLB 200 at 198 Newton per meter, flange 100 mm by 7.3 mm, web thickness 5.4, IXS 1696.6 centimeter power 4 and IYY 115.4 centimeter power 4. What is the maximum bending stress in the beam? Maximum bending stress in the beam we have to calculate. That is solution. What we have to find is maximum bending stress. Sigma BC calculation or sigma BT calculation we have to find. So what is the formula to find this? M by I into Y. So what is the Y here? What is the Y here? They are given, it is an I section it is having, this is the flange, this area is flange, these are all flange. This flange thickness is 7.3 mm and distance length is 100 mm. It is given in the question. And the web thickness is 5.4 mm. And the overall depth from here to here is 200 mm. So where I get from here 200 mm. So what is the Y? So Y, the definition for the Y is It is a distance from neutral axis to the extreme compression or tension flange. So neutral axis, it will come from the center. So it is in center, neutral axis. So from here, what is the distance? So center means y is equal to 200 divided by 2, that is 100 mm. So if you are taking compression flange or tension flange, it will be 100 mm. So why it is there? And what is the I value? So it is in excess, deflection will be in, maximum bending moment we have to consider for in excess direction. So I value is Ixs is equal to 1696.6. It is given in centimeter power 4. We have to convert into mm power 4, that is into 10 to the power 4 mm power 4. So Ixs is there. We have to find bending moment m. So how we will find out? So this is an cantilever beam. It is having a UDL over the span, that is 220 kilonewton per meter, length is 3 meter. So cantilever, what is the formula to find the bending moment? Mostly you will study this one in the previous papers. So that is W L square by 2. Where you will study this one in mechanics of structure or theory of structures you will study. So W is 20, L is 3 meter square by 2. So if you calculate, this will come as 90 kilonewton meter. 90 kilonewton meter. So now we will substitute that one in this formula. Sigma Bt is equal to m by I into y. So m value is 90. It is in kilonewton meter. We convert into Newton per mm. So kilonewton into 10 to the power 3. Here also 10 to the power 3. So it is 10 to the power 6 divided by I value is 1696.6 into 10 to the power 4 into 100. So the value is 530.47 Newton per mm square. Newton per mm square. So this is the and solution for the question. This is the maximum bending moment. So for the same question, we are going to find out what is the average shear stress in the beam. So what is the formula for average shear stress? Calculation is equal to V by H into TW. So TW is thickness of the web. It is given in the question, that is 5.4 mm. H is overall depth, that is 200 mm. And what is the V? We have to find. So how we can find? It is a cantilever. Cantilever UDL is acting, that is 20 kilonewton per meter, and it is a 3 meter. So here V is equal to W into L. Formula is W into L. So W is 20 into 3, that is 60 kilonewton. 60 kilonewton. So now we know V value, H value and TW value. So tau VA calculation is equal to V by H into TW. So V value is 60 into 10 to the power 3, converting into Newton, into 200 into 5.4. We will get it as 55.55 Newton per mm square. This is the solution for the given question. So in this video we covered the design criteria and what is the design procedure of a beam, and we some basic problems that are related to the design criteria. In the coming videos we will see the problems that are related to the laterally restrained beam, simple lateral restrained beams we will see. Thank you.